What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus also core, the one who never knows best. And in today's video, hey, alright, thank you for the tech gift, homie. I greatly appreciate that. Welcome, newcomers to the Asakura clan. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lotus Asakura, the one who never knows best. And in today's video, giving you guys an update on the video I uploaded a month or two ago. I talked about how I never owned a 3DS, so I went out and got one and started collecting games for it. In that video, I talked about how I believe last year I bought a Nintendo DS Lite because I never owned a DS of any kind, for that matter, let alone a 3DS. I bought a DS Lite, had a few games for it, was having a lot of fun playing it, and one of the main reasons why I wanted a DS was for playing the Pokemon games that I missed out on as a kid. So I started collecting those, got Diamond and Pearl, I got Pokemon White, Pokemon Heart Gold, which has become, honestly, my favorite Pokemon game of all time. I'm a big Gen 2 fan. I think Gen 4 is really good as well. When you combine them, to me, I think this is the best Pokemon game ever made. I know not everybody's going to agree with that, but I think that's a relatively popular opinion. I think a lot of people consider the Heart Gold and Soul Silver remakes some of the best, if not the best Pokemon games ever made, and well, I'm a part of that camp now. Anyway, that being said, in that video, I showed you guys that I bought a new Nintendo 3DS XL, and I got the Galaxy one for a great deal off eBay. Got this little Pokedex case to go for it. But even though Pokemon was like the biggest driving force for me, there are plenty of great games on the Nintendo DS and the 3DS that I never got the chance to play and that I want to check out for myself. So in that video, I had a few pickups, obviously, and we went through them, and I got Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days for the Nintendo DS. We picked up Fire Emblem Awakening, which, by the way, I have actually played through this game since that video, and I absolutely loved it. I thought this game was incredible. The story was really good. The characters were good. Obviously, Fire Emblem gameplay is always top notch. I'm becoming more and more of a Fire Emblem fan the more I play these games. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing my next game, which we'll talk about in this video. But yeah, Fire Emblem Awakening was incredible. Now, how does this compare to the other two Fire Emblem games that I played? Because remember, I'm a relatively new Fire Emblem fan. My first ever Fire Emblem game was Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it's probably still my favorite. I'm not sure, but I think Engage had the best gameplay, but the story and the characters left a lot to be desired, particularly when it comes to the story. Awakening gives you the best of both worlds, but it's just something about Three Houses, and maybe it's just that bias because it was my first one, you know what I'm saying? It popped the Fire Emblem cherry, so to speak. But Awakening was pretty damn good. It's a game that, in my opinion, still holds up really well as somebody who never played it before and experienced it for the first time last month. It was every bit of as good as I was hoping that it would be. And then we also picked up Fire Emblem Warriors, which I haven't actually played yet, but I will at some point. And then of course we had some Pokemon pickups in that video that included Pokemon Sun and Pokemon X. I haven't played through Pokemon Sun yet, but I have played through Pokemon X, and I'm gonna be honest, I know this is gonna be a hot take to a lot of people. This, to me, S-tier Pokemon game. I'm gonna be honest. I say I have a hot take because I liked this more than Gen 5. Now here's the thing, okay? I played Pokemon White, but I haven't played Black 2 or White 2. That might be changing in the near future. Who knows? But I really, really enjoyed Pokemon X. I had a lot of fun with this game. It had a great dex. I liked the region. The story is just okay. Here's my thing though, right? People always hype up the story of Gen 5, and I would say that it probably was the best that I've experienced in a Pokemon game. But like, it's Pokemon, so like it's not like it was particularly, you know what I'm saying? It didn't move me that much. Like the bar is really low, the standard is really low, so it's not like it wasn't really that impressive to me personally. I do like, and I did enjoy the story, but like when the bar is here and you're saying it's the best ever, it's like, okay, if every story in Pokemon has been a 5 out of 10, yes, the 7 out of 10 feels like it's moving mountains, but in reality is just, you know what I mean? But that's just me. I'm not like trying to hate on the story or the characters, but it just really wasn't all that impressive to me personally. That being said, I really enjoyed Pokemon X. I think it's probably an S-tier Pokemon game for me. I'm looking forward to playing through Sun and Moon, even though I've always heard that these games weren't very good. I don't think I'm gonna like the decks very much, but we'll see. We'll see. If you're curious about which starter I'll be picking, it's 100% gonna be Rowlet. But yeah, so those were the pickups that we had before, right? But now I got a whole new stack of games to show off to you guys that I've picked up. I'm looking forward to playing. So let's go ahead and dive in, shall we? First game on the list at the top of the stack, we have Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Like I said, I never owned a Nintendo DS, so I missed out on the DS games. And this is one that I don't think got like remade or was put in any of the collections that are available on PlayStation. Because I know on PlayStation, you can play through, obviously, Kingdom Hearts 1, Kingdom Hearts 2. You can play through Rechain of Memories, which I have, and I One of my least favorite games I've ever played, I'm gonna be honest. Then you have 2.8, and I think there's also 0.2. I've heard good things about this game, and I'm looking forward to playing it. And I was able to pick this up pretty cheap, I want to say. I don't remember the exact price I paid, but I got it complete in box for, it could have been more than $30. I guess I could pull up in a tab here on my other monitor and see how much I actually paid for this. Actually, I got this even cheaper than I expected. I paid 16 bucks. 16 bucks for this game. It might actually be playable on console, but I've never played it for myself. So that is something I will be playing at some point. The next game we have is another one that I'm looking forward to quite a lot. This is a game that has been on my radar for a minute, and it should come as no surprise to anybody watching, but this one's a banger. This one's a banger. Like I said, there's more than just Pokemon on this thing that I wanted to play, and this was a big one that I needed for the collection. We have Shin Megami Tensei 4. I had a lot of people recommending this game to me. Little did y'all know it was already on the radar. This was a game that I don't think I had already like bought a copy yet when I made my last video, but I'd been watching copies of it on eBay. I was on the lookout for a good deal, and well, I did manage to get it. Of course, the camera would focus. I did get Shin Megami Tensei 4. As you guys know, I am a big fan of Atlas. Matter of fact, after I'm finished recording this video, I'm about to go play Persona 5 the Phantom X, because anything Persona, Atlas, I need my hands on. But SMT is a series that I haven't stuck my teeth into nearly as much, and I've always heard great things about this game. I've always wanted to play it. I've used music from SMT 4 in the background of my videos a lot, actually. Not so much recently, but I did have a stretch where I was like obsessed with this soundtrack and I was using it a lot. But yeah, I got this game in the box, and I think I got a pretty good deal on this one as well. If I go take a look, 30 bucks. I paid 30 bucks for this game. It's usually going for like 40 to 50 to 60. But again, like when I'm deal hunting on eBay, I look for copies of games or anything really. But when I'm looking for something on eBay, I try to find listings where the price is already good, but they have or best offer. And then I lowball. It is what it is. Like, some people might see that disrespectful, but here's the thing, right? The button is there for a reason. So I'm going to use the button. You know what I mean? I recently made a video. Quiet, you. I don't know if y'all heard that, but my phone alarm went off. I had a reminder for it's not important. Anyway, I recently made a video about a pair of shoes that I bought. These right here, the New Love Jordan 1s, which for some reason, these always remind me of Kingdom Hearts, and I guess it's just because it reminds me of Sora's big ass shoes. That's not why I like these or bought these, but the New Love Jordan 1 is a sneaker that recently re-released, much to my surprise, kind of out of nowhere, and it retails for $135. I offered somebody 60 bucks for a brand new pair and they took it. Like, the worst that can happen is they say no. You know what I mean? And like, I really wouldn't. Do I need more shoes? No. Did I want these? Yes. Did I think he was gonna take it? Hell no. But did he? He did. So when I'm on eBay looking for deals, all right, I find a listing that already has a good price, and then I lowball. Because the worst they're gonna say is no. The worst they can do is just hit decline. You know what I mean? But then you have times where you find a Nintendo 3DS XL in amazing condition for 200 bucks. You get Shin Megami Tensei for 30 bucks. You get some of these other games that I got for really good deals as well. So, or like Pokemon Heart Gold, like even this game, right? Like when I bought this, I got it for $130 complete in box. This game is a $200 game. So like, you know what I mean? I'll be finding them deals, which $130 is still a lot of money, but it's a lot better than paying $200. Anyway, that being said, on to the next title. Here we have, remember I mentioned earlier that I was looking forward to playing my next Fire Emblem game. So of course, I got another Fire Emblem game here that I want to show you guys, and that is none other than Fire Emblem Fates Conquest. And you know what I mean? It's I might have had one reason in particular why I wanted to play this specific game. You know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. But no, I'm like I said, I've loved every single Fire Emblem game that I've played, and this is another one that I've heard good things about. I know Fire Emblem, there's Fire Emblem Fates Conquest and Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. I've always heard Birthright is terrible and Conquest is way better, so I picked up Conquest, which is honestly the one I would have rather had between the two anyway. This was the one that I wanted regardless, but then hearing that this was the better of the two just sweetened the deal for me. So again, I got this one complete in the box and everything, and I think I paid $25 for this game, which I think it only goes for like 30 to 40 anyway. So 25 isn't like a crazy steal, but it was a solid deal. So this will be the next Fire Emblem game that I do plan on playing. And there are some more that I want to pick up in the future. I think the next game I'll probably buy is actually going to be what is it? Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadow Valentia. I think that's the one the homies have been recommending me, and by the homies I mean my homie Moonski. He recommended that one to me a couple of times, and also I think some of you guys in the YouTube comments also mentioned that game and said that it was pretty good. So that'll probably be the next one I pick up. I don't have it here today, but it is on my radar, and it is one that I'm looking forward to playing at some point. I don't know if this is going to be the next 3DS game that I play. It might be. I don't know. I'm juggling a lot of different games and like activities lately. I feel like I have my hand in so many different pots, and I'm doing content on so many different things, and like juggling multiple gacha games and everything. And also the Switch 2 came out, and I've been playing a lot of stuff on my Switch 2. I played through Pokemon Scarlet. I've been playing Mario Kart World, and I have some other games that I want to go back and play on the Switch 2 that I didn't play on my Switch 1 that I have that are still, I'm saying the backlog go crazy and crazier and crazier, and I'm only adding more and more to it by collecting these games, but here we are. But yeah, Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, I'm looking forward to playing this quite a lot. Also, speaking of Fire Emblem, at some point, and also speaking of the Switch 2, we're supposed to be getting is it Path of Radiance? Path of Radiance, right? I think is going to be added to like the little, I forget what it's called, but you know how you can play like GameCube games and some of the older Nintendo console titles on the Switch. I think they're adding that, and that game is also like a super expensive game that was for the GameCube, and I think that game's like $200 or something like that. So it's probably not something that I would have played anytime soon otherwise, even though I really want to, unless I was going to emulate it, which I do emulate games every so often. But as you guys can clearly tell, I'm a physical collector. I like playing things on original hardware. And that being said, I've been getting comments, whether it be on stream, on Twitter, or in the YouTube comments, of people saying like, hey, are you going to stream this game, or could you stream your playthrough, or whatever. And honestly, I don't really want to, because I am collecting these games for my own personal enjoyment. As a content creator, I do think it is important to have stuff that's just for you and isn't always about, you know, viewing it as work and creating content off of it. And so this handheld gaming that I've been doing is that for me. And I normally don't create a lot of content on like RPGs anyway, which is obviously the main thing I'm playing on these devices. But also I'm playing them on original hardware. So streaming off of a 3DS or a DS Lite or whatever is a lot easier said than done. I think you can do it if you mod it. I know back in the day you had to get like this really expensive capture card to do it, whatever. For me, it's just not really worth the hassle. So I don't intend on streaming any of these games. I do talk about them on stream, and I do sometimes talk about it on Twitter. So if you do want to hear any thoughts or opinions that I have, you can always just drop a comment down below. But also tune into the streams, twitch.tv/Sakura. Link is always in the description down below. I've also been trying to mostly stream more on YouTube as well, and then you could also just ask me on Twitter, or like I said, in the comments. But Fire Emblem Fates Conquest, a game I'm looking forward to quite a lot. And then we've got a couple of more 3DS games, but we also have a couple of Nintendo DS games as well that I think you guys will be pretty excited to see. These are two games that have been very high on my priority list. Games that I wasn't sure when I was going to get, but I got them. And we'll probably save those two for last, because those might be the two best pickups. We got two more 3DS games here. And, you know, funnily enough, we haven't gotten to any of the Pokemon yet, huh? But we have two more Pokemon games here. The first one being Pokemon Omega Ruby. So these are the, was this Gen 6 or 7 remakes of Gen 3? The Gen 3 remakes. I've heard that these are pretty good, but I guess I've also heard like mixed reviews on these. Personally, I've never been a big Gen 3 guy, okay? Of the generations of Pokemon that I had played prior to owning a Nintendo DS of any kind, Gen 3 was honestly one of, if not my least favorite. That being said, Sword and Shield might be my least favorite Pokemon game. I think Sword and Shield took that crown when that game came out, because I didn't even finish it at first, and I went back and finished it. I still didn't like it that much. Pokemon Scarlet was really low on my list, but that game has shot up tremendously thanks to the Switch 2. Now that I can actually play the game and enjoy it and for what it is, like that game is actually really good, like really, really good. And I just couldn't fully appreciate it because it just looked so bad and ran so poorly on the Switch 1. That's all changed. That being said, like I've always been kind of a Gen 3 hater, and it's funny because that's, a lot of people love that. Like a lot of people consider Pokemon Emerald one of, if not the best Pokemon games, right? Like the best Pokemon games, like universally by most people, are like the Gen 2 remakes, so Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Pokemon Emerald, and then like Gen 5, right? Those are like everyone's favorite, like Black and White, and then Black 2, White 2. I didn't like Gen 5 that much, you know what I mean? And I've never been a big fan of Gen 3, but I'm gonna give it another shot with the remakes, because I've been kind of thinking lately if I want to go back and play those games to see if my opinion changes on them. And I still might go back and play the originals. I still own my own copies of Pokemon Leaf Green and Pokemon Ruby. Matter of fact, we still got my copy of, it's a little bit dusty, it's been sitting over here on the shelf. We still got my copy of Pokemon Ruby that I've had, well, since it came out back in the day. You know, it's funny, I think I told the story before, but but I bought this with money that I won from playing bingo with my grandmother. Anyway, that being said, I want to give the remake a shot, see if I feel any different about the game. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as playing the original. I can always go back and play the original either, you know, on my Game Boy or emulate it. But I'm hoping that when I play this, I like it more than I remember liking Gen 3, because it has been quite some time since I played any of the Gen 3 games. Like I said, it just never really impressed me that much, but that's just me. So we have Pokemon Omega Ruby, and then you saw that I have Pokemon Sun, so naturally I had to go out and get Ultra Moon as well. Like, you're probably expecting Ultra Sun. But if you notice that with my Pokemon games, I've been kind of like flip-flopping, I guess, with like the versions I get. Or I guess you really didn't know that until now, I suppose. But like if I get Sun, then I'm getting Ultra Moon. If I, you know what I'm saying, I want to collect every version of all of them, but a lot of these games are really expensive. These ones not so much. Like Sun was like 20 bucks. I think Ultra Moon was like $20-$25. Same thing goes for Omega Ruby, might have been 25-30 bucks. The 3DS games are pretty cheap. It's the DS games that are very expensive. And well, speaking of Pokemon games on the DS, we got a banger. So this next game is a Nintendo DS game, but it's one of the biggest bangers of this video. And I know y'all gonna go crazy when y'all see this one, man. But in my hands, I have Pokemon Black 2. And I said I didn't really enjoy Gen 5 that much. And when I talk about Gen 5, I get, again, mixed reception, where some people say, yeah, Gen 5 sucks, I feel you, or, you know, you got to play Black 2, you got to play White 2. Those are the better versions. Black 2, White 2, that's why people hype it up so much. Those games are way better, so on and so forth, okay? Here's the thing. Pokemon Black 2 and Pokemon White 2, again, are very expensive games. These are about anywhere from $150 to $200 a piece. Even for just the cartridge by itself, those games are over $100, okay? Let alone if you're getting them in the box with the manual and everything. I cannot give a big enough shout out. The only thing that's issue, my manual is a little beat up, is a little bit wrinkly, but for what I got it for, I can't complain. Because what if I told you that I got this game for completely free? Shout out to AOD, who was a viewer that reached out and said, hey man, if you really want, I've got a copy of Pokemon Black 2 that I would just be willing to send you. And here's the thing about me, right? Historically, I'm not somebody who's too quick to accept stuff like that. I think when I was talking about me collecting these games before, I had somebody offer to send me a copy of Pokemon Silver or Soul Silver, and I declined it. Growing up, I've always very much valued my independence. I don't really like asking for help or handouts or receiving things without having to feel like I've worked for it or earned it. And that is a mentality that isn't always bad, but it can block you from your own blessings at times, right? You can hold yourself back by being a little bit too independent or too selfish isn't the word, right? But just something that I had to learn is that you can't do everything on your own, right? And obviously collecting video games isn't like, you know, trying to, I don't know, achieve something in sports or, you know, start a business or anything like that. But I say that to say that as I've gotten older, I've become more comfortable and accepting of the idea of receiving help or people just giving you things just because they want to, right? And it's always gone for me that like family, then friends, and then strangers. So I've always been the least likely to accept things from strangers, but there's nothing wrong with that, honestly. And I think being a content creator and also being surrounded by the group of friends that I am is what helped me get to that point, because massive shout outs to all the homies, but in particular, huge shout outs to Rhyme Style and Afro Senju, because those guys have done so much for me since I've known them, right? Whether that be, you know, help with content ideas, doing collaborations. Rhyme Style is actually the one who sent me my first ever PS4. The PlayStation 4 that I started with when I was making content wasn't even my own. It belonged to my brother. And then eventually, you know, he took it because it was his, rightfully so. I didn't pay for it. And I didn't have one. And then Rhyme Style sent me his. I think the reason why he did that as well was also because he just had it sitting around, because I think at that point, like the Slim came out or something like that. And he was like, and also he's just a homie. He just does stuff like that, right? The first ever laptop that I've ever owned was gifted to me by them, you know, by Rhyme and Afro. The second laptop I've ever owned was gifted to me by Nanogenics and ZZ Toasty. This is all because they supported me, my content. They saw me as their friend and they just wanted to help out. And again, I've always been like very reluctant to receive help or handouts and things like that. I don't even ask my parents. Like by the time I was 13 or 14, I never asked my parents for like money ever, or like for shoes, for clothes, You know what I'm saying? Like by the time I was a teenager, like I'm buying all my own clothes and shoes. I'm even buying food a lot of the times. You know, I'm helping out around the crib. Like, and it wasn't like in a sense like I'm trying to grow up too fast or be too mature, but also I just like, I get a good sense of like, I guess independence again, for lack of a better word, but just like, I like being able to provide for myself. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that help is a bad thing. And so, I think I'm finally at a point in my life and just like mentally where it's like, hey man, somebody want to send you some shit like that? We go ahead and take it. You know what I mean? So that being said, if anybody out there got Pokemon Soul Silver or Platinum, you trying to send it to your boy, let me know. Let me know. You feel me? Because this is a $200 game. And the me, even 2, 3, let alone 5 to 10 years ago, would not have accepted this from someone. And in case you're wondering, like, well, is it a legitimate copy? Hey, man, I've done my research. This is an authentic copy. You know what I'm saying? This is a real copy of Pokemon. I can't even get it out of the case right now. Of Pokemon Black 2. What possesses anyone to want to just relinquish this? I mean, he says this because he really enjoys the content. He appreciates it. He wants it to go to somebody that he knows won't resell it and will enjoy it and appreciate it and everything like that. And I mean, I'm never gonna sell this ever. I mean, y'all see me. I'm a hoarder. I don't be selling. And the room just gets. Since I moved into this place, I done just seen it get filled up more and more with just more collectibles and games and plushies and sneakers and manga. And like, this ain't going nowhere. This is staying with me. Like, bro, I've got. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had this copy of Pokemon Yellow for 25 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't let go of nothing. You feel me? So put that back on the shelf real quick. Like, this is the same Game Boy Advance I've had since I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Since it came out, you know what I'm saying? So like stuff like this, like I don't sell it, I don't let it go. I cherish it and appreciate it forever. And truth be told, I have a lot of stuff from my childhood. I would have even more if my mother didn't do spring cleaning when I would be at school back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just came home and shit was gone, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for that, I'd have even more stuff to show from when I was a kid. I mean, I have a lot more than what I just shown, but I'm saying I would have even more. So with that being said, huge shout out to AOD. I'm very excited to play through this game. I've heard that it takes everything that was great about Black and White and makes it even better. And this is what I meant as well about like flip-flopping back and forth, because I have Pokemon White, as you guys know, so I went and got Black. Eventually, someday, I would like to collect White too, and then Pokemon Black as well. And I still haven't played Platinum and Soul Silver. I would love to at some point. But again, these games are very expensive. So this is like a $200 game. That being said, I do need to clarify that he sent me the cartridge by itself. He did not have the case. The case is also authentic, but I picked this up secondhand off of eBay, which I got for a pretty good deal. I don't remember how much it was exactly, but I got the game for completely free. So well worth it in my opinion. And the final game is another banger that was also sent to me by a viewer. This last game was sent to me by a different viewer by the name of Hayoshu. I was on stream and both of these people reached out to me like on the same day and mentioned that they would send me these. But I was on stream talking about, you know, the 3DS games and collection and everything like that. I was having a conversation with the homies, and Hayoshu, much like Ao, was in chat and was like, oh, I have that game. I have a complete box actually. You can have it if you want it. And at first I'm just like, again, I'm like yo, and I'm making sure that they understand, like, y'all know how valuable these games are, right? Like, you know, like if you really want, you could sell them and get like a decent amount of money. I'm low-key not even comfortable just even receiving these from you guys. But he insisted, he's like, no, like similarly, he's like, I want it to go to somebody who will, like really wants to play the game, that I know will appreciate it. They're not some scalper looking to resell it or flip it or anything like that. And again, this is something that I'm always gonna keep, I'm gonna cherish, and I cannot wait to play. And low-key, this, like Pokemon Black 2 might have to wait, SMT might have to wait, Fire Emblem might have to wait, because this might be the game that I play next on my DS. But here I have, complete in box, all the way down to the poster, I have the Nintendo DS version of Chrono Trigger. And this game is, again, worth about $100. You know what I'm saying? Like if you look on eBay, you see copies of this selling for about $100 complete in box. And I don't know what to say, man. Yeah, it came with the manual, the poster and everything, which I didn't even know this game came with a poster, but here we have the manual, and then it comes with a poster that has the box art on it. If I can get that to being. So huge shout out to AOD, and Hayoshu for sending these over my way, because you just saved me about $300, because Pokemon Black 2 is worth about $200 itself. This game is also worth about $100. And Chrono Trigger is a game that I have personally never actually played. And I recently got the urge to play it because I'm deep into my handheld bag. There's a lot of JRPGs that I've played and I've loved, and there's even more that I've never played that I think I would love. And a game that I've always heard phenomenal things about, that I've always been interested in but never actually played for myself, is Chrono Trigger. I was asking around and trying to find out like what's the best version of it to play, because I know there's a version on Steam, there's the DS version, there's, you know, obviously the original version of the game. There's like multiple iterations of Chrono Trigger. And most people seem to agree that the absolute best version of the game is actually the Nintendo DS version. So I was seeing people say that to me, so I started looking it up, and I seen that the game was pretty expensive. But this was actually the #1 priority for me, at the top of my list for games that I wanted to get for my DS once I decided I wanted to get it, right? So there was a lot of these games I had on my list. You're seeing all of them now all at once, but Chrono Trigger was like at the top of like the 5 or 6 games. I was like, okay, these are the next like games I'm looking after. Little did I know that I was going to be gifted the game, you know what I'm saying? I kind of put it on hold because I was like, well, that's $100, Black 2's $100, so maybe I'll go look for some more of these like $30-$40 games that I want to pick up. And yeah, I just I don't know what to say, man. I thank them both profusely. That's all I can really say is thank you, and I greatly appreciate it. I cannot wait to play through these games, man, because I know I'm gonna love it. Like a Chrono Trigger, I like, there's not a doubt in my mind I'm going to love this game, you know what I mean? Like I actually cannot wait. So yeah, I think that's all of them. I think those are all the games that I picked up since that last video, man. I know I did a lot of yapping and rambling, but those of you who watched that 3DS video seem to really enjoy it. So I figured I would give you guys an update. Now, at this point now, I am going to slow down on the pickups because I've got a ton to play, and I've got all the things that I think I wanted the most. There's obviously still some great games out there. Like I know people have been telling me about Kid Icarus. There was also Eretrian Odyssey, Project Cross Zone, Dragon Ball Fusions. There's some other great games out there that I would love to get my hands on, and that I will at some point. But I mean, considering what the collection is right now, like we've got so much stuff to play. I mean, several of these I've played already, but we have so many games to play through. Also, my Pokemon collection is getting kind of nasty. Like if we take a look at it real quick. So I think as of this video, I now own at least one version of every generation of Pokemon. Definitely for the DS. So you see the stack. You see, come on now. You see the stack. Don't play with me now. Don't play with me now. I know you see it. I know you see that boy going kind of crazy now. Let me go ahead and hit it with a little bit of. Just do a little Pokemon money spread. Who fucking with your boy now? Come on now. Who doing it better than your boy now? Come on now. But now we have Diamond, we have Pearl, we have Heart Gold, we have Pokemon White, we have Black 2, Sun, X, Omega Ruby, and Ultra Moon. I think these last couple are a little bit out of order, but regardless, man. And then I can go all the way back to Gen 1 if we really want. You know what I'm saying? Since we flexing, you know what I mean? Like we could take it 1-2 way back, like a silk wife beater in a wave cap. You feel me? Red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal. I got it all, playboy. I got it all. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, there's still some versions out there I'm missing. I don't have platinum. I don't have soul silver. I don't have black. I don't have white too. But after that, I think I got everything. To be honest, like what else am I missing? I got Sword and Shield. Actually, no, I don't have Shield. And Scarlet Violet. I got Arceus. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Got those. I need Alpha Sapphire. Oh, and then Sapphire and Emerald, because I don't actually own Sapphire and Emerald. I got a lot of Pokemon games though. I ain't gonna lie, the collection is going crazy. And you know, I actually have some of y'all to thank for that. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. These games, a lot of these I've had since my childhood. Obviously, a lot of these DS ones were just recently collected. And then again, you know, being sent Black 2 for free, like that's nuts. I did not see that coming. But yeah, man, it's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. But that is everything that I have for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of me rambling and showing off my pickups and a little bit of flexion at the end. You feel me? Your boy had to, you see what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Oh, actually, one last thing before we get out of here, because I just looked off to the side and I saw it on the shelf. Which I know about this one right here. It's a throwback for you for sure. Really great game, by the way. Underrated. If you never played it, I highly recommend it. The TCG on the Game Boy Color, that was fire. But anyway, Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all awesome content that I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen to you swing the bat. Later.